Good evening, good day, everybody. Welcome to another What's Up Wednesday. I can't believe how fast a week rolls by. Thank you so much for joining the show tonight. Whether you are a first time viewer, long time viewer, we're on episode 58, 58 continuous weeks of bringing you What's Up Wednesday. Our entire goal here is to help you be a better RVer, whether you're no time still researching, part time taking amazing trips, or being a crazy full time fanatic RVer like me. And that's kind of our big topic tonight is to point out 5 reasons why I like to live in my camper van full time, even when I'm at home base. It's pretty crazy. I know it. We got a lot of folks in the house tonight. Oh my gosh, some regulars and a few new ones. And this is just great. This show gets more and more popular every passing month. We got Ron in the house and Demiru, right? From Suwanee, Georgia. Thanks for being here. Appreciate that. Donna, good evening. Mesa Mike. Hey, for now, Mesa Mike might have some news coming up. I don't know. Wisconsin in the house. Embassy Midsummer. Very excited about that for you, sir. Sherry, good to see you. As always, Ryan, good to see you, sir. And Steve from Louisville. Love Louisville. Oh my gosh, it's such a great town. And you got Jane and Sharon. Just like always say hi to the folks that were here early in the lobby. So that's what we're doing here. So patience as we get into Beaver Creek, Ohio. I'm not sure I've been to Beaver Creek, Ohio. Jane, Roger, good evening. Hopefully you're sitting in Discovery. Rich, good to see you, sir. And up in the Pacific Northwest. And really exciting show tonight. I'm really excited about this topic, but let me kind of give you the rundown of what we're doing here. Number one, it's all about your questions. So get those questions coming in. We like to use the format 3 asterisks followed by 3 question marks, then your question. That helps me identify um, your question right out of the chat string because this thing is kind of a lively little group going back and forth. So get your questions coming in. The show tonight, a topic at 5 after the hour is why I live in a camper van full time by choice. By the way, this is not something starving artist situation. Got a van pet tip at a really important one, by the way. Some of you may have already experienced this. I want to save you a huge headache if you haven't. We've got a really cool rock song for you, and then Libation Live at 40 minutes past the hour. We're doing Shiner Bock again. Why? Just because I love Shiner Bock. I found it today at the Walmart, and they're doing the what they call it, the legendary package or something like that. This is an old school can, I guess. So Shiner Bock coming up 40 past the hour. And if you're having a good day, give a thumb up. Isn't she just darling? Sure, give the show a thumb up too. Hit it twice if you're having a bad day, because that makes you have an especially great day. Where are we coming at you from? I am coming at you from the Tampa Bay area in Florida. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see the temp scale there on the left. And it's pretty warmed up pretty much across the country except for the upper Midwest there, the Montana and the Dakotas. Every place else is kind of warmed up, a little bit of a thaw, which is probably welcome news. Maybe there's a big freeze coming. I don't know. I'm coming at you from Seffner, Florida, on the Lazy Days RV park. What brings me to an RV park? Well, I'm training at Lazy Days folks on Volta tomorrow. So it's just easier because it's literally 4 minutes from my spot. So it just makes my life way easier. And always curious where you're watching from. And if you are a new country we haven't heard from for a while, we'd like to put your flag on the world map here. So let us know where you're coming in from. Let me see if we can get some questions. Get those queued up. I want to show you, we've got some guests. So if you had been tuning into my channel the last couple of weeks, I guess, on What's Up Wednesday, we had a special guest. Wingham was supposed to be here tonight. We had to reschedule kind of at the last minute. I had a conference call with him yesterday. But I'm really pleased to say that they are coming on the show. But in March 2nd, we got ACI Vans. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see these guys. They've moved. They've gotten settled. And they are custom van builders out of Phoenix. American Crafter Vans is what that's ACI stands for. Really great guy. Clayton is coming on. Truma, still trying to lock down the date, so stay tuned, but really excited to have Mark from Truma, a big wig, come on. April 6th is tentative for Kyle, my partner. He runs our Airbnb business. He's going to be taking questions live on how we combine an RV and an Airbnb business just days, really 2 weeks from completing our 3rd property, and he's just doing an amazing job. And I am so exhausted with house renovations. Oh my God, it's just crazy. Let's see what else I got for you here. Wingham, we're probably pegging early April. So stay tuned. We'll get that posted. And we're really excited to get them on. They're jacked to get on the show. They just a scheduling hiccup, so no problem. This Friday, next Friday, I apologize. Next Friday, February 25, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Terry Minix, VP at Embassy RV, comes on. Take your questions live. If you're shopping for an RV and you are looking for something a little different than what you're kind of finding, this could be the van for you. He builds 3 floor plans on 3 different chassis, and the guy's amazing. The team's amazing. And if you have an Embassy RV, like some of you do, Sherry and others, you know what an amazing rig it is. So don't miss that. Put that on your calendar, and that will be just really, really awesome. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, yeah. And if you like that kind of content, gosh, subscribe to the channel. Putting out van tour videos, van places videos, and van tip videos. A whole bunch of those coming your way. Been working hard, kind of getting things cataloged up to start posting. So thank you for that. And of course, your questions. Okay, so let's see if we got a few questions coming in here, and then we'll hit our topic of the week. I always seem to run behind a little bit. I've got the cat with me. This is his first run at Vanlife Tuxedo, and I gotta say, he's doing pretty good. He's doing real good, in fact. And lots of folks in the house tonight. Kathmandu, Sparks guy. Looking for a question here. Yes, Joan. It's gonna be a few weeks. We had to reschedule for probably April. So sorry about them not being on tonight. But they are really excited to be on the show. And if you haven't signed up for their email list, do that so you get the latest updates from them. And again, they are just really excited about this. Stephen says, just mailed my self-addressed stamped envelope to GSLL stickers today. We got a little update on that. Kyle's mom, a 80-year-old Vietnamese lady, we spent an hour basically showing her how to do that. So orders are coming in and they're going out with stickers, and she is kind of excited, I gotta say. Tex is in the driver's seat that's turned around. He's had a long day traveling. So it's hopefully wearing him out a little bit. He is just too much energy for me. I'm the OG in the group, I guess. I don't know. OG stands for old guy for you old guys and gals out there in the vernacular of the young folks these days. Travel Dreamer has a question. Any new Class B B Plus with Volta? Not that I'm aware of. Storyteller, Winnebago Travado bolts, Tiffin Cahaba. There's a fifth wheel now by Grand Design and a Class A by Tiffin that has Volta in it, but I'm not aware of another brand yet. We'd love to see more vans get them for sure. There's Carl, upstate New York. Okay, good to see you. Elaine from Nevada, Beyond Intention in the house. No way. That's funny. Love these two folks, and they have an amazing cat, Benny. So great to see you in here. All right, so let's kind of jump to the. Yes, no Wingham tonight. I apologize. We had a last-minute reschedule that just happened yesterday, so I posted that up. So stick around. Maybe you might enjoy this. Hopefully you do if you came in for that specifically. But they're coming on the show just down the road a little bit. So, okay. So let me kind of hit up. I see your question there, Mason Mike. So let me get to that. Let's hit the topic of the night. I don't want to run too long here. And the topic of the night is this. And that is... why do I full-time in a camper van? I'm going to give you my 5 reasons. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are no trophies, no awards, no medals for living in a van. It is cool. It works for me. It ain't for everybody, let me tell you. Especially if you got a lot of pets, a lot of kids, and a lot of adults. A van would be kind of silly, actually, in my opinion. But I do want to share with you this interesting statistic. And if you're an RVer, my hat is off to you already because you're doing something different than others. And the statistic, this comes from 2018. This was a North American Movers survey they did. And if you really, really want the details on this, I'll send you, hit me up and we'll send you the link. But 72% of Americans live in or close to the city where they grow up. That is an amazing statistic to me. And I guess the punchline is, why do I live in my van? Is there so much to see and do? Having been at home base since late December, kind of living in 15 square miles, it is driving me crazy. So let me give you the 5 reasons why I choose to live full-time in an RV. And reason number 5 is minimalism. What do I mean by that? less stuff. That is how our RV journey got started way back in Chicago, 2017, really 2018. I was tired of paying for a storage unit. That'd be a house full of stuff that was just stuff. Now, what I have, I'll zoom in here for you, is I live in a 21-foot camper van, and everything I literally need is in this van. Let me show you. Here's my clothes. I have about 4 pair of shorts and 6 pair of jeans. I've got 12 shirts, 3 belts, 2 coats, 2 pair of cowboy boots. My galley consists of 4 plates, a few glasses, 2 bowls, a tiny coffee pot, and 2 pots. One's my Instapot, and one is a saute pan that I rarely use because I'm not using my propane stove anymore. Minimalism is just the most beautiful thing. It makes you prioritize, makes me prioritize, makes others also prioritize what is important and take those with you in the van. And maybe you could downsize your house, just kind of prioritizing your stuff. I see people all the time buying the big RVs. Why? Because I want to carry a bunch of stuff. And if you really had to look at it, I wonder how much of that is really important. In fact, as I leave full-time the first week in March, what I'm going to be doing is not taking my grill. I'm experimenting with it this next few days, but I am not taking my grill. I am going to leave it behind. So minimalism. Why? Just not bringing value. My grill that is used 4 times a month. So I'm going to find an alternative. Reason number 4 is culture. The number 4th reason why I love to live in my van full time is because of culture. Now, it's kind of a funny word, culture. And that is some juicy looking barbecue there, isn't it? Oh my gosh. And that's kind of the point. Our country is so amazing. We have so many different cultures under a single umbrella of the United States of America. And I'll throw Canada in. I haven't got to Canada in my van yet, no thanks to COVID. Not a lot of interest in going to Mexico at this point. But let me show you some of the culture stuff here, and I think I'll give you a little sense of what I'm talking about. Culture experienced in the locales that they were intended to be. What am I looking at? Or what are you looking at? Oh my God, I'm getting hungry looking at these. These are Cedar Key clams. It's one of the biggest farm raised clamming outfits and locations in the country. This is steamers. For $10, you get this beautifully sweet bucket of clams, a roll, and a Stella. And by going to see the clams raised, I appreciate those clams so much more. Let me show you the next one. This culture. This is the last burger place that Hank Williams ate at. He actually ate in his car. The burger was delivered to his car from this place. This is in Bristol, Tennessee. And to sit in the same place where that guy and many other famous people had a hamburger and a Coca-Cola, doing my thing, culture. There's no way without a camper van that I actually street camp that night, I would be doing this. There's no way in the world. I'm flying to someplace to drive to, just not doing it. How about this? Route 66. It absolutely running that 2,400 miles implanted in my brain how our car culture came to be. Seeing that infrastructure come to life from roadways, motels, gas stations, trinkets, and tourism all came to life really poignantly for me through culture of Route 66. And we got more videos coming up. I'm so far behind on this, it's embarrassing. But it was just an incredible, incredible experience, how important culture is. If I didn't have a camper van, if I didn't have an RV, you fly into a little place and you kind of leave. But you miss, in my opinion, you miss the whole thing. Next, actually driving my van on the Route 66. So let me zoom in here for you. So there's the current modern highway there to the right, to the left rather, and where it says road ends. Beyond that, the pavement, that's the actual Route 66. And I broke the law, and I drove, I don't know, a few 100 feet, yards, probably a few 100 yards to the other end where I got back on the pavement. And I'm even now just talking about it makes my goosebumps pop way up. Culture is really, really important for me. But it's not just stuff and places, it's music, country music. This is Scotty Alexander, a really great country musician that I got to meet because I was in Amarillo doing Route 66 and looked up on my Bands in Town app. This cat was, let me zoom in here for you, playing that night, went over, free concert. It was so private. It was so great. There was only like maybe 40, 50, 60 people in the audience. Took a photo, obviously, with the guy. Really great music. Really, really great. And live music. This is Bob Moses. If you're familiar with them, they're kind of a techno-ish. But I went to Phoenix on purpose, and there's kind of a punchline coming up to go see these guys. You could do that in a van and stay wherever you want. So culture, food, beverages, adult beverages, music, the culture of the history is just so poignant to me. It's so incredibly amazing. Number three reason I full time in a camper van is because history comes to life. Reading books, okay, pretty old school. Watching stuff on the internet, yeah, okay. But actually being there and doing things like this, standing in front of the cannon, that there's a big scuffle, what is that word called? Where Mexico and Texas, country of Texas, had a big kerfuffle, that is the word I was looking for, over this cannon. And there's the very famous "come and take it" charge that is all over Texas, almost kind of their third slogan. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the cannon that they had a fight over with country of Mexico and the country of Texas. And I stood in front of this by complete accident because I was headed to Shiner, Texas to check out the brewery. History comes alive when you're in an RV, when you're in a camper van. Every turn is something special. What is this? The USS Alabama battleship from World War II, parked in Mobile, Alabama, in the bay there, spending a workday climbing around a battleship and just reliving all of the smells, the sights, the sounds. Having history come alive is just the most incredible thing. Let me show you this one, super emotional. Thank you, PBS, for tuning me into the Tulsa massacre back in 1920. I think it was 1920. Huge race riot. The whites kind of charged this very successful black neighborhood, killed over 300 people, all black, and standing on those streets that are no longer really there, only in plaques, only the buildings were completely wiped out. Living history. It, to me, is just the most important thing. And I'm going to add to history, nature. I didn't realize how cool nature was until you're actually in it. Walking from your car to your house, from your car to your work and to the grocery store, and maybe going to the park once in a while. That is not being immersed in nature, in my opinion. What you're looking at here is a cactus thing with the Lost Dutchman State Park, the Superstition Mountains in the background. Being so close to nature is just one of the most amazing serendipities I never really understood about being in a camper van, in particular, living from it, because you're experiencing the weather and nature 24/7. This is my campsite at night. Superstition Mountains in the back. My first trip to Superstitions, I was with my cat Luke. They actually had a park ranger give a scorpion hunt that night. So I'm like, I'm in. I would never do that if I didn't have my camper van sitting at the park. Let me zoom in here for you. It was me, about 12 adults, and 20 crazy kids out in the desert at dusk with black lights. These are the scorpions we collected that night. The biggest ones they already had, but everything else from medium on down, we actually captured that night. And it was just the craziest experience. So nature is one of the coolest things that I experience every day living in my camper van. It's over the top amazing. Get your questions coming in, just about done. And what I want to do is share my number two and number one reason why I love living in my camper van full time. Number two, rather, this may not surprise you, but I'm going to walk you through this a little bit. Freedom. Having the freedom with some resources and a camper van as an adult every day makes me feel like I'm 15 years old. A little creaky more on some days than others, for sure. But the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want, ever as long as I want, is just, it is a infectious freedom of movement and lifestyle that is over the top. Let me explain. Here I'm in Boise, Idaho. I had street camp that night. There I am the next morning. And this is in Hyde Park. This is where I actually grew up as a kid. Had coffee at the Hyde Park Coffee House. Then I went to explore my childhood house. I was in this house. We were in this house as a family until I was leaving second grade in Boise, Idaho for Spokane, Washington. So that's my boyhood house there. And then after exploring the neighborhood, I went to the Idaho State Capitol to work, where they had amazing, amazing high-speed Wi-Fi. Couldn't believe it. Open to the public, waltz on in. So here I am doing some updates and some work. I actually worked in the cafeteria the next day because the Wi-Fi was literally that good. This cost me a cup of coffee to kind of hang out down there. All of that in a 48-hour period. Freedom. Explore my old childhood roots. Explore a neighborhood. Work at the state capitol. And then drive for about, I don't know, there's a few hours into this old mining town way up in the mountains. Let me zoom in here for you. I can't remember. I think it was Silver City. This was taken with my iPhone 12 Pro Max at night in the full moon. This is not daytime photography. There are no street lights. There's no electricity. Everything runs off propane or solar. So any lights you're seeing are probably off solar. Propane is for the refrigeration and stoves. And waltzing around with an adult beverage in the middle of the night, literally in moonlight, when 2 days earlier I was at the state capitol working. It's just incredible. What you're looking at here, this is Dead Man's Gulch. I'm pretty sure it was called. There's actually a number of murders in this alleyway. It was just, that's kind of what I'm talking about. The freedom to do whatever it is you want to do, wherever you want to do it, for as long as you want to do it. It's just over the top. And many thanks to this audience and my partners, Volta and Embassy RV, I was able to quit my job last year. I quit my job, so I have only me and my entrepreneurial duties and my duties to you. So now total freedom as an adult to do this whole thing and bring you along for the journey. So my question to you is, what do you think my number one reason for living in my camper van is? If you can put that in the comments, I would love to know. I wonder if you're going to get it. Are you ready? It's you. It's the people. It's the people I meet. The people from this channel. The people in this country are so amazing. 99% of the time. There's an idiot in every group for sure. I think I passed one today. Jeez. But let me kind of run you through this. I was in Houston working at a park and noticed this guy with a super cool bike and a super cool attire, right? And started chatting him up, and we had a really nice chat. Eric is his name on Instagram, and I was super interested in his bike because I got a new bike, my orange one there, and he was giving me some tips on that. And a complete stranger, we're not going to be best friends. It was a 15-minute acquaintance and a really great memory. Just a really cool cat. Kind of inspired me with some of his Western gear. The Suburban Cowboy is what his Instagram handle is. How about this? This is in Cedar Key. Let me zoom in for you. So this is my van in Cedar Key, Florida. And by just kind of hanging out at the bar after my steamers, clams, met these people. They liked my hat, and they invited me to join them. And we just had a ball. One thing great about RVing is everybody's like, so what do you do? I was like, I live in my RV. What? Yeah. What do you for? I do a YouTube. What? So I join crazies. It may be a 5-minute acquaintance, but what fun we had. A couple generations sitting here. It's the people I meet along the way. This is Jerry Minchie. Met him at church, aka the bar. And he's been on our show a few months back. And one of the first videos I did was with him. And by being a solo RVer, it forces me to talk to people, which I love doing anyway. And by just a little chit chat over a cold beer in Cedar Key, this little relationship bloomed. And he's just the greatest guy, giving some really good RVer advice. Let's see if you recognize some of these folks. Yeah, who are these characters? So these are some of the folks that came on the caravan on Route 66 with me. Kyle's there in the hat in the back. But this, again, is the people. It's the most amazing thing. And this is what it's all about. Here we're having a cozy dog. No, it's a corn dog. And I'm helping people influence the way they want to RV, whether it's part-time or full-time. This is Donna. She was on the show recently in her new Travado. So proud of her. Single female out doing her thing. Here's Mason, Mike, and Mary. This is when we were climbing the Chiricahua National Monument Mountains. Oh my God, that lady kicked my butt. And let me tell you, it's the people, ladies and gentlemen. It's the people we meet, the culture we experience, the history, the freedom. And for me, that is being a minimalist, putting money where experiences matter, people matter, not into stuff. That's why I choose to full-time in a van. And when I hit the road in just a couple weeks, even at home base, I'm in the van because I just love it. It just works for me so much better. So that is why I like to live in a camper van full time. I find that if I was taking trips, many of you do, in fact, most of you do take these cool trips, which is fine. But I am going up the East Coast this year, and then over to through Canada, then drop down to the Midwest, and then I'm back into Texas. Love Texas. It's just the way I like it. There's so many things to do, go, see, meet. For me, I couldn't do it. Taking a 2 week or even a 2 month trip. There's too much to see. I miss stuff overall. So that's why. Hopefully you enjoyed that a little bit of what why I like to live in my van full time and RV from it. All right. Thank you. Let me shift gears. Let's take some questions from you here. Here, Mason Mike's got a question. Hey, Scott, we discussed earlier regarding toll roads. Are you finding when paying tolls, is technology up to date where they can be paid via debit or credit card, or does one still need to carry cash? I've not seen a cash toll booth in a long time. Many of them, what they do now is they take a photograph of your plate and they will send you a bill. And I get bills all the time. But I have a number of toll tags on my vehicle from Texas, Illinois, and Florida. A viewer did clue us in that there's a kind of a one pass that covers most of the east of the Mississippi states. So I'm not seeing a lot of needing to pay cash. A lot of them, they will send you a bill. And if you don't pay it, they send you collections, I'm pretty sure. It's a great question. So Justin's got a question here. How often are you kicked out of boondocking stealth parking spots if you still park at such locations? A lot. I'll be doing more of those. I'm probably doing one in Lakeland, Florida after our drive-in on Friday night. I don't go back to the same spot. I move around. So if I'm, for example, in Nashville, I choose a different place every evening. So I'm not staying like an uninvited guest. And I've never been kicked out. The only time I've ever had the knock was at a Walmart that was not 24/7 outside of Nashville, ironically, and they didn't allow parking. I'm not staying in Walmarts a whole lot anymore. Cracker Barrels are my preference. Street camping in historic districts, cool parking lots, even restaurant and bar. If I'm consuming there, I ask to stay the night, and I've rarely been denied. And of course, Boondocker Welcome and Harvest Hose. So, but my advice would be not go return to the same place every night because your jig would be up. Don't stay in front of a residence. Nobody wants a strange van that looks like the CIA pulling up in front of them. That is certain to get a knock from somebody. I would stay, again, in historic districts, commercial areas, off the main drag. Light industrial areas is where I've stayed. Hopefully that's helpful. Great question. Spark Sky missing wing of I'm kind of bummed. They're bummed, but it's gonna be the best thing for us all. So we just had to reschedule. So save your bolognese and your red wine. Well, consume those tonight. Bring them back, and they'll be back soon. They're really excited. Actually, it's gonna be a huge win for the channel. So it's pretty cool. Let's see right here. Catherine wants to know: are you going to be planning? I'm always planning. So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be planning. Help me with that. St. Augustine, that is a beautiful corner of the world. There's a Cracker Barrel just outside of St. Augustine. St. Augustine, I always get it wrong. I stayed there, it was lovely. So Mason Mike wants the link. Yeah, hit me up on my email. It's gosmalllivelarge@gmail.com, or post a comment on the thing here. Mesa Mike, I know how to get a hold of you. Are you going to be planning your travels out for 2022 or just winging it? I'm very much planning. And I planned, Catherine, great question, because of Volta brand ambassador duty. So I train. So what I'm trying not to do, which I did last year, is really book them close together. So I ran fast and hard from July to October, um, all the way Route 66, Chicago to LA, and then through California, Oregon, and then back down through Arizona. It was way too much. So I'm going to slow down and, but not wing it, but having a trajectory and hitting up the dealers, the Winnebago dealers as we go. That's for income. Oh, Tuxedo's getting a whiff of something. He might be coming and see us. I'm pretty good at winging it, but it drives me crazy. I just kind of want to know where I'm going and why, and it allows me to do a little bit more research on where I am, so I can do videos. We're going to be doing a lot more videos on that kind of a topic. Places to take your van, right? So we've talked about that quite a bit here. Great question. This is a good question. They're all good. Frank and Sharon, again, thank you again for your lovely card. It's sitting right up here. Just a charming couple. We hope to get our Embassy RV in May. What is your favorite tip to get ready for a 2,000-mile trip home? That is a beauty. I would recommend staying at Embassy RV in their parking lot for a couple of days. There's a number of RV parks, campgrounds, like a KOA, within Elkhart. So go pick up your van. Buy the essentials you need as you kind of make your way home, but stay close to Embassy, stay close to Elkhart for the first couple of nights, just to work out all your systems. I know Terry will do a very thorough walkthrough, and the team will do a very thorough walkthrough for you. Most of the customers, they stay the first night in the parking lot, and so you can just test everything out, and then you see them in the morning and get all your questions answered. Don't do what I did, which is buy a whole bunch of stuff that I ended up getting rid of because I found I didn't need it. Now, when you get home, and maybe make a list as you're going. If you have duplicate equipment and gear and what have you at home, then make a list so you're not having to buy it again. And it gives you an opportunity to clean out some of the stuff out of the house. I would also kind of recommend, getting a Harvest Host membership. Go to my site, you can save 15%. And they have a trip planner now. So point to point, you can plan Harvest Hosts along the way. What I do is I run 4 or 5 days using Harvest Host or street camping, and then do a KOA 5th or 6th night to just do tanks, do laundry, just kind of chill, hang out, get some Wi-Fi maybe. And so I started thinking about some of that. What are some bucket list places you want to go? Road Trippers is another great app that can help plan a trip. So that's what I would recommend. Now, the converse is also true. So if you're picking up your rig by a local dealer, I would recommend staying in your own driveway for a couple of nights using all your systems. Plug in, run off batteries, run off solar, cook, go potty. Number one, number two. If you're going to use your toilet, shower in it, use everything in your driveway so you're super comfortable. Then when you're spend a couple of days doing that, then the next one is to find a campground or something like that, Harvest Host, that's a couple hours away, so you're close enough if you need have an issue. But that's what I recommend. You're kind of flying and driving, which is pretty cool. But I think Terry's going to treat you really awesome there, the Embassy team. Great question. Gary's got a good one here. Where and how do you wash your rig? Yeah, don't do what I did. Learn everything I share with you folks is learn the hard way probably. And I took my rig to a truck wash and they scratched my silver paint. Not badly, but just bad enough. So what I do is with my wrap now, I use my own wash wand, Walmart sells one. It's on my website as well. Excuse me. And from Amazon. And there's an RV specific wash wand that extends way out and is really, really soft. And you will want to get that. I wash it in campgrounds where they will let me. And that's kind of it. I really try and avoid the commercial coin operated. It's a Visa card. If it's really dirty, I kind of have to go there. But I'm please be super careful about the overhead twirly wand and hose things. Get the 12-foot high bays. Those are kind of hard to find, but fortunately the wrap keeps it way cleaner, and the bugs just wipe right off, literally. So So that is great. Boy, we got a lot of folks in here, 99 folks. This is great. I'm a little behind. Let me shift gears here just a tad. And what I'm going to do is share two pieces of information. One is stickers, and one is the van events. So let me back up here, looking off screen. And yeah, hey, if you're having any fun tonight with me, I sure hope you give us a thumb up. That would sure help. And let me share this with you. So again, I'm probably the last YouTuber RV guy to have stickers. Finally got them. And here's how you get them. Yeah, we're doing super old school. Let me zoom in here for you. This is on my website. Just go to my website, gosmalllivelarge.com. And it's $3 per sticker. You got 3 to choose from. And you send $3 per sticker. Cash. Yeah, I know, old school. And a self-addressed envelope. Anybody older than 40 will know what that is. If you're 20, Google that, please. And send to GSLL Stickers, Ocean Drive there. That is Kyle's mom. $1 goes to the artist, $2 goes to the mother-in-law for processing. And there's a closer up of the stickers. Please tell her which by sticker A, B, or C you want. Her English is okay, but her Vietnamese is really good, and I'm getting tech support calls. Here she is processing some orders. So if you have recently sent those in, you'll probably be seeing those next few days because I spent about an hour with her last Saturday. It's the cutest thing, let me tell you, to have Kyle's mom helping out here. It's just so funny. Keep your questions rolling in. Van events. Man, we got some cool things about this. This Friday, just 2 days from today, we're doing a movies at the drive-in theater. Let me zoom in here for you. Silver Moon Drive-In in Lakeland, Florida. The show starts at 7:30. We're gonna meet at 6:30. I'm asking you to do an Eventbrite, and when you experience a drive-in movie from your van, I think you're gonna be pretty crazy happy. We got a big vanboree and a roundup coming at my home base, the 26th. Again, if you're interested in that, check out my website, all the details on Eventbrite. And then we're going to be at the Ocala RV show at the Sunshine State RV. Come say hi. I'm going to be there with my sign and giving out stickers, and just be a delight. I'm really excited to see this show because it's small. Follow me on Instagram. When I'm running around, I'm doing a lot of Instagram posts. It's pretty funny. If you have something you want to share with the crowd, again, on my website is a sign-up form, and it would be an honor to share some of your experiences with folks. All right, let's do a few more questions, and then I've got a van pet tip for you. That's pretty important. Looking for a question. I thought I saw a couple more. Yeah, Charles said we are. And if we just all turned off the news and just talked to each other, how different would the country be, right? Everybody's generally pretty cool. No way, look at this. Go for miles. Just had Valentines Dinner at Steamers in Cedar Key Tuesday. It's almost been 3 years since we saw Lily parked on the bridge, which is still being rebuilt. Is that the craziest thing? I think they found some sinkhole or something. I can't remember the details, but yeah, if you get to Cedar Key, it's kind of, you have to go there on purpose. They're working on the cellular. It's actually pretty good now. It was horrible before. And go to Steamers. They have the best clams I probably ever had. And they're so inexpensive. It's just crazy. Sparks Guy, have you looked into routes 20, 40, and 60, federal highways that were the main transcontinental routes before the interstate highway system? No, but I see those occasionally. So, but I have not done those. I try and take the back road as much as possible, unless I'm really in a beeline and just need to get someplace quick. I take the interstate, but all the action is on the county, state, and U.S. highway. So I routes. So I applaud you for knowing those. Like U.S. 95 coming out of Vegas, I think it is, and down through Needles, just a spectacular drive. It's funny. So Thomas was so it's a blacklight essential desert gear. I would say yeah. If you're out walking around your flip flops in the desert, scorpions only come out at night, pretty much. And by the way, they blend in really well. So if you're out there with your traditional flashlight, you will not see them. They look like sand. And I also learned they apparently don't have a lot of scent because the cat was not interested in them at all. They are poisonous to people. They are poisonous to dogs. They are not poisonous to cats. I couldn't get Luke to even get an interest. And after I still need to do this video. I about came out of my skin just thinking about just now. After the scorpion hunt, I took the same black light that I got from the hunt, and I went and I scoured around my van. I'm like, oh, let's go see what's happening around the van, right? Little tiny ones. I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat. And I went over this little embankment down to a dry wash, and there was a guy. He had to be, I don't know, at least 6 inches long. I couldn't believe it. And then, of course, I wanted him to move, right, so I can get it on camera. And he finally moved toward me. I didn't have the cat with me. I about I dropped my drawers and ran like crazy. Couldn't believe it. So yeah, if you're out running around, I wouldn't think. I mean, I haven't heard of too many scorpion hits lately, but nonetheless, this is a good question. These are all great questions. Sparks Guy, of all harvest host categories, which do you find the most agreeable? Wineries, golf courses, farms. Farms are great because you just buy a few veggies. Done. Usually they're way off though, which is kind of okay. Wineries can be pretty expensive. I'll be honest, especially if they have like tasting room with lunch. You buy a bottle of wine. For me, it's always a $60 tab. I like the golf courses because they're really quiet at night. They're in really good neighborhoods. They have a burger and beer pretty cheap because it's a golf club thing, right? And they do start early in the morning, about 6 a.m., but that's okay. I'm always up and around, running around. But and they're either parking lots are two flavors, really dark or really well lit. I'm kind of more for the dark, but I really prefer those um, over the wineries. Distilleries, I'm all down for a distillery. Um, but Boondocker Welcome is free. You stay there, and there's no charge at all, no purchase necessary. Here in the Tampa area, there's actually a pawn shop as a harvest host site. So kind of pick your poison. But I love the golf courses. I think you have to pay a little bit extra, but they're always really great. And they got Wi-Fi inside. They got air conditioning, and just great people. I always end up giving a van tour, which is just fine. It's so great. Good question. Sherry, Fort Worth Stockyards. Did you feel safe staying overnight in the overnight parking lot? Safe to walk from the rodeo to the parking lot? Absolutely. What I would recommend. So what she's doing, we actually did a van boree camp out. We had 3 vans, I think maybe 4, and so if you go down the main drag where the rodeo coliseum is and where they run the cows twice a day, I don't know the name of the street, but it's the main drag. Letty's is on one corner, then there's the big um, arching bridge. There's a parking lot at the end of that on the left, on the north side of that main drag. I've stayed there now probably 4, 5, 6 times. It's very good. Park away from the main street, so you're not getting all the noise. If you can park in the grass, that's really awesome. But that's what I'd recommend. Totally safe. The place is filled with people. The rodeo, it's so much fun. You got to go. It's really inexpensive, and it's just a great experience. Buy a cowboy hat, even buy a $20 disposable one, just so you can get your groove on. And I've got a couple of my dollars stuck to some of those bars, so check them out. Look for them. It's great. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's so fun. Let's see. So Mason Mike wants to know. Let me do a van tip here. We'll go here in just a minute. It's already 40 after. Time for a Shiner Bock. Okay, let's do a couple more questions because it's about your questions. Hey Scott, so far, what has been your favorite Harvest Host location stay? Boy, that is a toughie. What's my favorite kid? Oh, don't have kids. What I love about Harvest Hosts is, frankly, it brings me someplace I would never go. And a lot of times I get to meet the crafts people making the beer, the wine, the distillery, the growing the fruit. So they're just all really, I have never had a negative Harvest Host experience. I like the urban ones because I can be down and park and ride my bike around. One of my favorite ones, it was a winery. They literally put me out all alone in the middle of a vineyard. I bought a bottle of wine and bought dinner, and full moon coming up. The cat Luke was with me, and we just walked in moonlight, drinking wine, walking the cat. That was one of my stronger ones. There's another one. Makes me think it was in Twin Falls, Idaho. There's a golf course in the canyon, and here comes Tuxedo, maybe. Um, which is going to be part of our pet tip, which is a great segue. So let me do that. So that's tough to say, man. They're all really awesome. I've never had a bad one, and they take me to places I wouldn't go, which is kind of the whole point, right? All right. So let me share my van tip with you because this is really serious stuff. And it almost happened to me again at home base. So van tips, here's my tip. Let me zoom in here for you. So we have pets. We RV with pets. We leave our pets in the RV. And some people really don't like that. If you got a pet in an RV, put a sign in the window saying, hey, pet in air conditioned, climate controlled, don't break the glass, give me a call. Don't panic, ladies and gentlemen. But what I've discovered is I have a cat. This happened with Luke, and it's happening with the new cat, Tuxedo, is they like to walk around. And when you have an animal walking around, what happens is they get locked in. I'm locked out. And this happened at the Harvest Hose golf course in Twin Falls. I was actually talking to the neighbor. We were sharing an adult beverage, and all of a sudden I realized I went back to the van. It was time to go home, and the keys were in the van. I'm not going anywhere. And the cat was in the van. He was walking around, and he locked me out. So my tip for you is this. Take your keys with you when you have a pet in your RV. Even if you're sitting out at the picnic table and they're inside, if a cat in particular, they're going to walk around and they're going to lock you in. And it was not comfortable. Mel and I getting a locksmith to that van spot to have him unlock me. It cost like $150 at midnight. So, and this happened to my sister-in-law. They put the pets in the car to cool them down, and they were running around, locking the car, locking them out. And so that is my advice with you. And I am retraining my brain that if I'm leaving, the cat's in here, the keys go with me. They don't stay in the van because he walks around, and all it takes is a click, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm locked out. Now, home base, I have a second set of keys, but I don't have a second set when I'm gone. So that is I'd be curious if you've had that experience and what your thoughts are, because that can be kind of serious. If they're locked in, you're locked out, and there's weather issues and some other things going on, right? Okay, more questions. But before we do that, this is a good one here. So Kathmandu, hold on one second. Let's do Libation Live. So again, we're doing Shiner Bock. And this kind of ties into why do I live in my van full time? Because there's so many things to see. By going to Shiner, Texas, that's a beautiful sound. It has caused a whole series of discoveries, including that Canon Come and Take It that's in Gonzales, Texas. And cheers, everybody. Oops. Cheers, everybody. Jeez. This is so good. In my Lukenbach Texas glass, too. See that? I had a bartender just this week tell me that she prefers Shiner Bock, but to some people, Yingling, which is the oldest brewery in the country, I think, was on the bottle. It's similar. I think this is smoother, more flavor, and Libation Live. What's great about Shiner Bock is you can now find it in a lot of places. You don't have to go to the especially beer stores, and give it a shot. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. Kyle likes it. He does not like dark beer. Cheers, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good questions. Let's see. A few more questions. We may have to go overtime tonight. Kathmandu wants to know, Scott, did you have any misconceptions about van life that you learned otherwise when you went full time? Misconceptions. I thought I would need to plan every place I was going every day. I didn't think that I didn't know what decision fatigue was. I thought it was on a vacation party trip and I was working from my van. So yeah, there were some pretty big learning curves. I didn't really understand the Wi-Fi situation. And I think even though watching some YouTube videos, the burning desire to do this full time from the get-go, I was going to figure it out one way or the other. So I was not going to be put off by something else. So I wouldn't say any real misconceptions. I had a fairly good understanding. I had spent a ton of hours researching my floor plan, which has worked out fantastically. Volta, the green light, has worked out beautifully. My rig now, almost 90,000 miles, has just performed flawlessly. Um, so I think going fast was a misconception. I'm just trying to slow down. I'm still trying to do that. And I was able to get rid of my job. Now I can't tell you how frustrating it was to do conference calls parked in front of these cool places that I couldn't leave the van for hours. And I started getting a little bit better about taking my work with me. Um, so that was something I learned how to do. But I wouldn't say misconceptions, but definitely some learnings. We all have learnings, right? Great questions. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, community is number one. Totally agree. It's the people. I swear, if we just all turned the TV off and went and knocked on your neighbor's door and said, hey, I haven't talked to you since last year. What's up? And spend 15 minutes talking to people. Strangers are just, RVers in particular are just delightful people. If people are sitting in Cedar Key eating clams at the bar, they probably don't live there. They're from somewhere else. Break up a conversation and just start chatting with people. I think we'd be a better country if we just talk to each other. Mesa says, much love to you, Van Bro. Thanks for motivating. Yeah, and thanks for, the Russos here, right? Above my, right there. Saw them at the RV show in Tampa last month, and they were hugely instrumental in me getting going. So it's on their shoulders that I stand, and now many of you are are getting the same flavor. Again, no awards for full timing. It's just the way I choose because I want to get as much of this in before I either burn out, the van crashes, or my passions change. Right now, it feels like I'm just getting started, quite literally. So, Mary Garan wants to know, you've never told us about the last stolen bike. That video is coming. I've got it scripted, and it's coming. I will have to ask you to be patient with me, Mary. So thank you. And it's going to be tips. Again, a lot of stuff I've learned, I want to pass on to you so you don't do what I did. One of the signs over my door says, bad decisions make great stories. That is very true for that situation right there. Eileen goes to church too with Tequila. That's awesome. So Patrick wants to know, what is the real concern I have is finding where to overnight. How much planning do you have to do? I would say you've got to do a little bit more planning. If you're planning to do state parks and you're planning to do the national parks, I don't do those regularly, certainly not national parks. So I'm not an expert on those by any stretch of the imagination, but the parks are filled with RVs, ladies and gentlemen. So Harvest Host, there's one I was going to stay at here. It's had one night open in one night open the entire month of February. I couldn't believe it. So my phone battery's going low. So yeah, we got a few more minutes left. So I would say do some route planning. Find out where you're going to stay. I would recommend Harvest Host first if that's the way you want to roll. Make those bookings. Do a campground or like a KOA every, fourth or fifth day. I've had pretty good luck, other than some of the ones in Florida. The KOAs, they're really expensive and they're pretty booked up. Lazy days here, it's $68 a night for full hookups. And that's okay. I've got a cool pub and some other things, and I'm working, so it's. But I think you need to do a little more planning than you used to. That's been my experience lately. So, state parks, county parks, fairgrounds often have RV sites. Some city municipalities have city. Shiner, Texas has an RV park. That's a city-run operation on the honor system of all things. Really inexpensive. Go to Shiner, Texas. Hit them up. But I definitely do a little bit of planning, unless you want to do street camping. All right, what else we have? So I'm going to do I think my phone's going to die in just a few minutes, so that's okay. We're about done. Yeah. So Sherry's got, the Easy Pass, working on states I've traveled, Florida and Texas, haven't had issues. That's good information. Thank you, Sherry. Burrows at midnight. So one of the stickers has burrows on it. Video on that. I got harassed by burrows in the middle of the night. Pretty scary. Did not give up on the guitar. I am still moving that thing twice a day, front of the van and back and forth. Why? Because I'm committed to doing it. It's got to be on my list when I leave, and that is what we want to do there. So Mason Mike wants to know what RV travel app you use, or the best one when planning travel route. I So where am I going for like a Volta duty dealer? Then use Apple Maps to kind of plot the course, and then maybe cross overlay Harvest Hills Boondocker Welcome, and Road Trippers is pretty good. Dirt, DYRT, is, and Campendium or some others I've used. Just good old fashioned Google searches. It's kind of, you have to use everything. I'm not sure there's one silver bullet for everything. So let me share my song of the week. We didn't do this last week, and this was pulled up. We do a lot of country songs on here. You guys provide me with some great song options, but this one I want to share. This came up a playlist that I had not heard this song forever. Metallica, not super hard rock, although it's a huge hard rock, big hair band, Metallica. But if you want something a little different in your ears tomorrow or tonight, hit up Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. It's really a captivating song to my ears today, and I put the show together today listening to that over and over and over and over. And I probably haven't heard that song in 30 years. I don't even know. It's just so crazy how time flies by. So hit them up for that. Hey, if you're having fun, give us a thumb up, right? This cat's having fun. Just so appreciate you being here. So let's see. Sparksman, are you going to do Volta training at Colonial RV in New Jersey, Winnebago, and Airstream? Yeah, if they carry the Bolt and the Travado, they are on my list. We got a very aggressive agenda this year, and all brand net new RV dealers. Lazy Days we did last year. We're doing a small group of them tomorrow. But yeah, I'm just delighted. I love helping people understand why the lithium system is so important to a freedom of an RVing experience. And good question here, Justin. They're all good questions. Have you noticed the Volta battery health capacity decline over time after using it full time for 3 years, like normal lithium batteries would? It's a great question, and I have not. And we actually have facts to back that up. So I drove the van. Again, I took delivery in October of 2018. February 2019, I've been living in my van full time with very few exceptions. Overseas travel and a few other things. Even at home base, I stay in my van. Drives Kyle crazy. Sorry. We plugged the Volta system in at Volta headquarters, and they were kind of shocked. So the battery has a 2,000 theoretical life cycle. Complete discharge, complete charge, 2,000 times. A little bit like your cell phone. You never really actually do that, so it's this combination of in between. They were shocked that living in my van 2.5 years full time at that point, I had hit 40% of that theoretical life cycle. And they were stunned to find that 2.7 million watts have been run through my system at that point. And so no, there's been no degradation. Specifically, then they measured how far off factory fresh was this, less than 1%. And they attributed that to that I go and I plug in to shore power like I am right now a few times a month so that all the cells can balance evenly. If you're constantly having this up and down through charging from various means, guess who's coming to say hi? Come here. I know. Say hi, everybody. My name's Tuxedo. It's werewolf hour. It's about time to get off the show and go for a walk. See the cutest thing? Okay. So it's, yes, sir. So it's, I think I'm going to outlive my van some other way than the Volta system for sure. Great question. Hopefully that helped. Thanks for asking. Mason Mike might be coming to Florida. I don't know. All right. So a couple last questions. Yeah. So here's a testimonial beyond intentions. Sandy and Chris, always take the key. Benny's locked us out and let stuff out the window. Always open and close the cab door. And getting out soon after stopping. Yeah, I'm really working on verbal commands and a few gestures with the cat. It worked really good for Luke. So stay, hand gesture, and some firm tap on the head if he's not getting the message is what works. But I think a combination of gestures, commands, being easy. But yeah, they will lock you out. In fact, I'm going to tape something over the not the lock, but the window, because he was running around and stepped on the window button. I cannot lock the windows in my Promaster. It's a 2018 chassis. So he was actually rolling down the window on accident. And I bet had a heart attack trying to get the window up. So I'm going to put something over the window down button so he can't let the window down on his own. Yes, they do, Donna. That's why I love cats. Dogs have masters, cats have staff, and that's the difference. Okay, zooming for. Oh, Donna, we just got to see him. Thank you for asking. And now he's going potty back there. I can hear his box. Okay. So Wayne Kelly is saying our 2019 KL Voltigauge has never registered over 90%. Can it be the gauge? Depends on what year. They used to have stickers that were colorized. So if you have the old gauge, that actually could be true. They've changed that now. Now it shows the fullness. So you may have had a sticker that showed 100% when it was actually only 90. There's some technical reasons for that. The engineers kind of got ahead of themselves. So that's quite possible. If you're in the Holland, Michigan area, I would recommend stopping by Volta, seeing them, meeting the team that put that together, and maybe they can upgrade your Volta gauge. They did that for me, and now mine reads 100% when it's 100%, but it takes forever to go from 90 to 100%. And now you can see that on your app. That's literally putting in about 150 watts when at 70 or 60% state of charge and you're driving at 70 miles an hour, it's putting in 9,000 watts in an hour. So great question. Hopefully that helped. Well, folks, I think that will make it for tonight. Again, we got a big week, drive-in theater meetup on next Friday, the 25th or 26th. 25th Friday, we got Embassy RV, and then on 26th, we're going to round up at my house. So as always, I just want to say, thank you for being there. A great crowd as always. You just push me forward, and hitting the road again just reminds me why I want to do this and bring you along with me. And I think it was just a poignant, why do I live in my camper van? It's not out of desperation. It's because my curiosity has been so whetted after 3 years of doing this full time. I can't wait to hit the road again and bring you some great content. So thank you, everybody. And we'll have one more final toast. It's so good. With that, we say journey on. We'll see you next week.